Welcome back. A lot of discussion in the state right now about the life bills here in the state of North Dakota. A couple of them passed through both houses. They will fall on Governor Dalrymple's desk very, very soon. With me tonight, infertility doctor, Dr. Kristen Cain, and also live from Bismarck, Senator Margaret Sitte. To both of you, thanks so much for joining me. Dr. Cain, I want to start with you. You guys had a press conference yesterday. Stephanie Dahl, a doctor there, also an infertility doctor, said these bills will stop the practice of in vitro fertilization in this state. I don't think that's accurate, is it?
Actually, it is very accurate. The problem with these bills is that they are so internally contradictory that they overreach. They intend to ban all abortions from the moment an egg is fertilized and on up to the point where they're currently banned at 24 weeks by Roe v. Wade. The problem with this is that these bills also interfere with the practice of IVF. There are carve-outs in the bill for IVF, but they're completely inadequate. They only admit to protecting IVF in the case of testing of embryos. The doctor is not protected in the case of accidental loss of an embryo that has not been tested. This has been looked at by attorneys all over the country in all different organizations. And I'm sorry, but I'm not willing to risk my freedom and to go to jail for life because somebody in my lab dropped a dish.
Senator Sitte, I want to get your response. She's saying that your bills and these other bills are going to stop IVF here in the state. Do you think that's true?
Absolutely not, Chris. In fact, Dr. Stephanie Dahl came to the Senate Judiciary Subcommittee meeting last session, and she's the one who actually wrote these very specific carve-outs for the practice of in vitro fertilization. We don't want to do that at all. That was never the intent of these bills.
I have to address that because that's absolutely false. Dr. Dahl and Dr. Christensen testified in 2011 against these bills in committee. They did not write any legislation. Any amendments that were written to these bills were written by Senator Kurt Olofsson, who is no longer in the Senate. They had no place in writing bills. All they did was testify against the bills. They have never supported any of these bills. I have never supported any of these bills. We wrote letters to every single senator after Senator Sitte made these statements before on the floor, protesting these false statements. And I would like to reiterate that now.
Chris?
Senator Sitte, go ahead.
Chris? Oh, thanks so much. I sent an email in response to Dr. Dahl asking her, was she present in the room when these amendments were being written? And she never has responded to that email because the truth of it is she sat there next to Senator Olofsson and advised him on every word. And so now it's true, the doctors this session have come back and said that they oppose the bills, but these are the exact amendments that were put on last session to appease the in vitro doctors. And so the broader context here is all about abortion. And my question for these doctors is, why are they opposing all of the life bills? These are doctors who should be supporting life at all stages. Their whole practice is built around fertility and helping people have babies. And we're all the pro-life people. We are the ones that definitely want to see life continue.
Dr. Cain?
I would say we're opposing these life bills, because, or not even life bills, they're abortion bills. Let's just call a spade here.
Wait, what's the distinction? I mean, life bills, abortion bills, why do you have to make that distinction, and what do you mean specifically?
Because they're not pro-life. The problem with these bills is that they actually inhibit the building of families. They inhibit caring for pregnant women. A woman who has, for instance, an ectopic pregnancy, the ideal time to treat an ectopic pregnancy is before it becomes life-threatening. There's no provision for that in these bills. You have to wait till she's dying, then you can treat her. A woman who's pregnant has rupture of membranes at 14 weeks. You have to wait until the fetus either dies spontaneously or is passed before you can induce labor and treat her infection.
Senator Sitte, go ahead.
Oh, Chris, I so hope that people will go to their computers and download this bill and read it for themselves. On page 5, we have very specific carve-outs for the medical treatment of life-threatening conditions to the mother through all 9 months of pregnancy. And absolutely that ectopic pregnancy would be covered. There's the principle of double effect. We would never allow the mother to die if the child is going to die anyway. That is completely false. That has never been part of this bill. And those specific carve-outs are right there, number 1 and 2 in subsection 2 of the bill.
Senator Sitte, go ahead. Do you have something to say?
I do. I have something to say to that. I agree with Senator Sitte that I invite people to read these bills, and they will see how confusing the language in these bills is. There's no definition of what life-threatening is. There's no definition of what testing of embryos is. There is no definition. It's very, very ambiguous. And when you're writing laws that have such high stakes, where a doctor could wind up going to jail for doing the wrong thing, you have to be pretty clear. You're going to lose doctors in the state with this. You're going to lose physicians, and you're going to have trouble attracting more physicians. Now, I know North Dakota has all this beautiful weather, and people love to come here, but you know, we already have a problem attracting enough physicians to the state to take care of our citizens in Western North Dakota. And we're having trouble housing doctors. We're having trouble getting people out there just to do the work.
Senator Sitte, I want to move on to this. You get elected to uphold laws. There's already a federal law, which we all know federal law trumps state law, that essentially they're saying is going to trump this, and now the litigation is going to cost the state hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of dollars. You say?
And Chris, I always say in response to that, what is one person's earning power in a lifetime? I'll bet you Dr. Cain's earning power is a lot more than $1 million. I'll bet you most people's earning power is close to it in this day and age over a lifetime. And so it is worth it to defend life. And all we are trying to do with these bills is to defend life. And we definitely want these in vitro doctors to continue. They are scaremongering, and nothing is intended to harm their practice in any way. There is no one who's going to prosecute them if they drop a petri dish, and to say so is totally absurd.
But will your laws, these life bills, essentially cost the taxpayers of North Dakota lots of money, yes or no?
Well, you know, there are lots of organizations that have lined up and said that they will defend the state in these life bills. There's the Liberty Council, Thomas More Law Society. Many organizations are standing ready to join with our Attorney General, and they have sent us emails saying they will bear the entire cost to defend these bills.
Dr. Cain, I want to give you a chance to comment.
So you admit that outside interests are coming in and promoting these bills to the point where they'll even pay for your litigation costs?
No, not at all. We have not had Liberty Council or Thomas More Law Society in the state at all. And so they are not pushing these bills, but they have let us know that they will help to defend
Margaret,
these
wait a second.
There are lots of pro-life organizations.
Senator Sitte, you just said
Yes.
that you've got outside interests that will pay to help pay for these legal costs. Dr. Cain just asked you that question directly, and you just said no.
She asked if they were coming in and lobbying on behalf of these bills in the beginning. They have had no part in the writing of these bills. They have had no part in the promotion of these bills. They have not been lobbying on them. But they have sent a letter that if these bills pass, they will help the state defend them.
Dr. Cain, did I misinterpret what you asked her?
That's completely different from lobbying.
Nope. You interpreted what I asked her exactly correctly.
So let's go back to this. Are they willing to pay for the litigation for North Dakota taxpayers, outside interests, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So here's my last question. This is going to hit on Governor Dalrymple's desk very soon. I need a quick answer from both of you. Does Governor Dalrymple veto these bills, yes or no?
I hope you will.
Absolutely not.
You say no? Okay, great. Last question I've got, and this is coming from people here in our office. Dr. Cain, if you can address this quickly. Plan B, do these bills eliminate Plan B or the day after pill?
Right now, these bills do not eliminate Plan B. However, there is wiggle room in there because the Right to Life groups persist in promoting the idea that Plan B causes abortions. It is not. It's an emergency contraception, and it should not be eliminated by these bills. However, that said, there is a faction of people who promote these bills who also wish to eliminate Plan B on that basis.
Senator Sitte, I've got 30 seconds. I want to give you the last word. Go ahead.
Oh, thanks so much, Chris. Absolutely not. This bill does not prohibit Plan B. It says very specifically contraception is exempt from this bill, and so these bills are all about defending life and the ethical treatment of human embryos. This is important legislation. Germany has been operating under these rules for 20 years, and there are no repercussions. It's actually healthier for the woman and the child, and so we just are very hopeful that the North Dakota legislature will pass these bills.
To both of you, thanks so much for your time. We will continue this debate. We hope to have you back on again very, very soon. Stay close. As always, we're going to get to your feedback. Please go to our website, 630pov.com. We'll be right back.